Skip, how surprising is this?
For me, not at all.
Really?
And I'll tell you why. Once more, I got to give it up to LaVar.
Mm-hmm.
When did we first have him on this show? 2017, I know. Lonzo was still at UCLA. So it's ahead of that draft, obviously.
Okay, yeah.
We had him on. He was becoming a thing. And pretty soon he was a household name.
True.
And after that was over, I did a Facebook Live hit with him over in our, what we call the avocado room. And we continued to talk. And I didn't know much about the youngest Ball brother.
Right.
And what did LaVar tell me? Flat out, you know, he tends toward hyperbole, but
Right.
a lot of hyperbole turns true. He said, my youngest will be by far my best. And he was already comparing Lonzo, you know, to like better than Steph at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
But he said, my youngest will be my best. He said, my youngest will wind up being 6 feet 9 inches tall.
Wow.
And he's on his way. He's 18 and he's a real full 6'7", and they're predicting he might grow another couple of inches. So he might turn out to be 6 feet 9 inches.
Wow.
And he's a beautiful blend so far of some Lonzo and with a real shot. Lonzo has obviously struggled with the shot. It's still it's good enough for him to be a star in the league. We can go into that. But this kid can really shoot it, but he could shoot it from the start.
Right.
You could see when he was 13, 14, 15, he could shoot threes.
Yes.
And so all of a sudden, he's got some of Lonzo's gift for seeing, feeling, and passing, which is why they're starting to go Luka Doncic here.
Correct.
Just creativity. And he looks like he's going to be a little taller than Lonzo with a much fuller offensive repertoire.
Right.
He's going to be a scorer.
Right.
And he can rebound, and he can pass. And he has a little bit of a new unselfish streak that I didn't see in
high school
when
LaVar fell out with the head coach because his son couldn't shoot 50 shots a game.
50 shots a game. So I'm reading this piece by Jonathan Gavoni, and it's a good piece on ESPN.com. And the quotes just didn't surprise me. And again, Brian Wintour said on ESPN yesterday that, remember, he's playing against full-grown men in Australia and New Zealand.
Right.
I think the quality of basketball there is high.
Right.
It's really going
Right.
higher and higher. We saw what they just did in the World Games, right?
Yep.
That's a good point.
And his point is that he's dominating full-grown men, some of whom have had stints, pretty good stints in the NBA. And against the Defensive Player of the Year in that Australia-New Zealand league the other day, he went 19, 13 rebounds, 7 assists. And that the Defensive Player of the Year just couldn't deal with him.
Right.
Okay? So we got that going. And then I read a quote from an NBA exec that says, he's completely changed my perception of the type of prospect he is, and all the background info are gathered here from his coaches and teammates paint a very different story of what I thought of him on and off the court. So it sounds like the youngest is growing into a really good kid who's Lonzo's a great kid too, but the opposite of LaVar.
But think about it, Skip. A lot of the perception of the kids is what? Framed through the LaVar.
All in the family.
Yep.
And the reality show, right?
Yeah.
And one scout said, you're expecting something magical to happen every time he touches the ball. Okay, well, that's a mouthful, which is why he is in the conversation now for the first overall pick. And the funniest quote in the piece came from his head coach over there who said, I haven't heard from LaVar, so we must be doing something right. And then he laughed.
That
right?
was such a good sign to me.
Yes, and LaVar made a little cameo appearance when the kid first got there, but did not ask to even go to practice.
Right.
So he's staying, it sounds like so far, hands off. Do I
Right.
trust it
He
going
learned?
forward? And then I'm going to wait and see on that one. He's wearing no big baller brand attire, no shoes, no clothes. It sounds like he's negotiating his new deal. And he's
But this is an
Nike.
opportunity. This is an opportunity to get Big Baller going.
Yeah, well, it
This is a
sounds
prime
like,
opportunity.
sounds like the Suns are going in different directions.
What about Big Baller?
Yeah.
Oh.
Too much too soon.
Okay.
Maybe they're learning here.
Well, I'm not surprised because this kid could be have the best mix of all the ball traits, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Skip, when you look at it, considering the path that is possibly could take him to the number one pick, you figure he lost his eligibility in high school. He ended up having to go to Lithuania, and that didn't turn out well.
Nope.
He ended up playing in LaVar's league, and then he ends up going to some prep school, I think Spire in Ohio.
Yes.
To now he's in Australia
Yep.
and could possibly be the number one overall draft pick in the NBA.
That's a new route.
But the thing is, Skip, there's something called talent. And when you good,
Yep.
you can't suppress it, you can't hide it. Because that's why you can get the greatest tennis player ever, Serena Williams, come from Compton, California.
You got it.
And you get a small kid, Rafa Nadal, come from a small town in Spain.
Yep.
And because the talent is just so great.
Yep.
Well, this kid, you like, he lost his eligibility. He's here, he's there. But he's talented.
Yeah.
He can play.
And he seems to be growing up right before your very eyes.
And the thing is, Skip, look, and I think LeVar is also, he's like, look, there's some things, and he will never say this publicly, but he knows there's some things he could have done differently that probably could have helped out.
I agree.
And I think he's taken a different approach with Melo than he did with Lonzo.
Yeah.
And I think that's serving Melo well. But I'm a little surprised though, Skip, because a lot of people had him as a late first round, the second round, and after a couple of weeks of seeing him play over there, he's rising. Saw one thing I had him like the fourth or the fifth overall pick with the potential to be number one.
Yeah, well, this has him third to the Knicks.
Yeah.
It's just completely mock.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but he's, like I said, Skip, there's something called talent. And when you good, that's what my coach told me at Savannah State. He said, son, you don't need to leave. You don't need to transfer.
Yeah.
If you good, they'll find
Totally
you.
agree. But I'm with you. I'm pleasantly shocked by this because I feared that LeVar was on course to ruin a second son because he painted such a big target on Lonzo's back here in Los Angeles. And then here comes the last, LiAngelo just wasn't, he didn't have enough talent, I think, to make it. I don't know if he can still hang on and make some. I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, I just think the thing is, there's something, this reality television, it just paints a picture and people just get this, I don't know, people, you become obsessed, you like watching it. Because, you know, when you really, I think the Kardashians might be just good, solid people. But because of reality television, we have this sense of what we think they are. And I think that's what happened with LaMelo and LeVar and Ball in the family. And this guy's like, he's nothing like I thought. Well, what you gathered was from Ball in the family.
Sure.
And so once you get to know someone, because get reality television, nobody else has TVs, cameras in their homes every day. No one says, okay, cut, do that scene over again. Or say it like this. That's not, we can say that's reality, but that's not reality. There are no cuts in your life. I walk in, if I forget something, I forget it. But I wish him well.
But I feared that LeVar had wrecked his route to the NBA because this kid didn't even get to go to high school. He didn't even get to
finish high school.
Enjoy his high school experience, right, for the last couple of years. And then, obviously, he didn't go to 1 year of college or any years of college.
It is
hard. Hard. It's hard to grow up that way. And then he has horrible experience in Lithuania.
Because, Skip, that's normally not the right. I mean, we see a lot of, like, international, not American kids do that. A lot of international tennis players. They don't go to college. You know, they just, they play. Next thing you know, they're a pro. Or you see golfers that do it like that. But we don't normally see basketball players because remember, they made Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons like, I want to go in the NBA, but no, you got to go 1 year.
You got to go to Baton Rouge.
So he go piddle around around down there for a year
and look like he didn't even want to play.
So and that's what we get. So the route that he chose, that he's taken, is very unusual, and it's like, I'm surprised because I've never seen it before.
Trust me, he's had some lonely nights in Lithuania, some lonely nights in
Ohio.
Tasmania, where he is now, or Ohio. But I'm talking about when you're off U.S. soil, and the food's different and everything's different. The language is different in Lithuania, and you have to grow up pretty fast.
Like you say, Skip, he's playing against grown men. It's one thing playing against kids your age. Now, what playing against kids older and grown men will do, it will force you to become better, to compete. And I think that some of the things that when you have older siblings and you try to keep up with them,
I agree.
It will greatly advance your skill set.
It'll make you tougher faster.
It definitely will.
Right?
It definitely will.
You grow up quickly. And, I think that looking at his past, it is hard what he's been through, but maybe being away was actually the best thing for him.
Might have been.
Considering the drama that we saw and everything LeVar was involved in, like him or hate him, maybe being away was the best thing. He's been able to become his own person. And the fact that the coach said he's come with zero baggage and that the players like him and they respect him, like, that's all that matters.
I can't root for LeVar, but I root for these sons.
I am too. Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.